Thank you for coming here today for camp, especially Slane, Cara, Sarah and Vicky. I've tried to think what Cam would say if he was here. What absurd or hilarious things would he come up with, or what deep and meaningful insight would he have? We all feel this today, I'm sure. The sad irony being that the one we would have liked to be here the most and are thinking about the most is missing. He would have loved to have been here today, playing music and catching up with his mates. Leif said to me after Cam passed that it feels like a piece of us has died, like we're all one and now a piece is missing. It's true, he is missing. And it's times like these that we appreciate the bonds of friendship and realise that we need to enjoy the moments together. To define Cam would be to bring up many words such as musician, poet, political activist, friend, father, brother, worker, flatmate, scientist, chicken impersonator. All these things are Cameron, but together they are the man we know and loved. When Cam came to SWOW, the hippie high school in Canberra, I remember him being a shy little punk with a very white Dead Kennedys t-shirt. He had left his school because his hair broke the dress code apparently, and came to SWOW, where we learnt about alternative political views, culture, music and art. Cam fit right in, and some of the friendships he made lasted the rest of his life. We were young, into politics, social justice, the environment, and generally sitting around in big groups chatting, playing music and juggling. He soon left the caravan in his parents' yard in favour of squats, jammed with people. Soon was hitchhiking up and down the coast, forest protesting and the like, which led to arms protests, and the story goes on. Cam had joined the feral family, although not called that at the time, and Cam would later discuss how we should write a Wikipedia entry on the origins of the word feral, as an expert on the subject. But I digress. Cameron wasn't long at school before he was off, a travelling punk, anarchist, musician, science nerd, often returning to Canberra, but it seemed that for the next few years he was everywhere on the feral web. Squats, group houses, gigs, Cam was ever present with a guitar, mandolin, banjo. He accumulated a great wealth of friends and experiences, and in return provided a soundtrack to all those around him. Around a campfire, he was a human jukebox. He could play anything he heard, it seemed, satisfying endless requests. He also possessed a great knowledge of things, lots of things, lots and lots and lots of things. At Cam's funeral, his family recollect a child of intense enthusiasm and consuming interests, loving wordplay and terrible puns. I'm shaking too much today. A tinkerer, a musician, and a rule breaker. Sound familiar? It seems Cam didn't change much over the years. Cam ended up settling down after periods in Brisbane and Lismore, moving to Adelaide with Erin and Dayden, and got a real job, doing something that he loved, tinkering with computers, fixing them and programming them in a scheme for the underprivileged. Working for the government seemed quite an irony for someone like Cameron. Getting a real job and a real house? Wow. It was in this time he reunited with his son Slane, with whom he hadn't had contact with for most of Slane's life. It was one of the happiest things that happened to him. I know he was so proud to have Slane back in his life, and it's fantastic that they were able to get to know each other. Cara and Cam met in his final year, and unfortunately Cam was diagnosed with cancer. The cancer that ended up taking his life didn't take away his ability to love or be loved, and he was so loved. We could all see the love that they had for each other. Cam held his spirit high and was playing music right to the end. On him and Cara's wedding night, on pain medication and wedding booze, he continued to sing and strum the night away, staying up later than most of the guests. Whilst writing this speech, I realised there's so much you could say about Cam. He has done and achieved so much, inspired so many people. The fact that he was adored for so many reasons by so many people makes it bittersweet today. It's really a celebration of a very amazing person's life. He would have been overjoyed to have you all here, and most importantly, wouldn't want you to be sad. When I saw him in Adelaide last, and he told me he was dying, he apologised and said sorry. The pain in his heart must have been agonising, knowing he was going to both lose the people he loved and hurt them at the same time by leaving. The only solace that we have is that he's in no more pain, and he is still here in our hearts and our memories. We don't have to see him for him to travel with us through life. The mere memory is companionship. It seems fitting Cameron has ended in a rock and roll sort of fashion, dying relatively young, leaving a legacy of fantastic music, and has been an inspiration to so many, and we will never forget him. Lastly, for all this talk of how great Cameron was, let's remember he was a punk rockin' bad boy, a dreaded mohawk wearing dirty clothes rebel anarchist. It's called Gravity's Gone. I went stumbling through the fog, trying to find reason for the things I told her. She woke sunny side down, and I was still thinking I was too proud to flip her over. Between the champagne hand jobs, the kissing ass by everyone involved, cocaine rich comes quick, and that's why the small dicks have it all. So I'll meet you at the bottom, if there really is one. They always told me when you hit it, you'll know. But I've been falling so long, it's like gravity's gone and I'm just floating. Those little demons aren't the reasons for the bruises on your soul you've been neglecting. You'll never lose your mind as long as your heart reminds you where you left it. And don't ever let them make you feel like saying what you want is unbecoming. If you were supposed to watch your mouth all the time, I doubt your eyes would be above it. So I'll meet you at the bottom, if there really is one. They always told me when you hit it, you'll know. But I've been falling so long, it's like gravity's gone and I'm just floating.